Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, happy Friday, Saturday, whenever you're watching this. Hello. Hi, Kyla Lovebug. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Kimmy. I'm in my car outside my house. I don't know why I love being in my car so much. Hi, Love from New York City or NYC. I'm going to wait a few minutes to let some people join before I share the information that came through during my wonderful massage. Hi, Chad. Happy almost birthday. I'm sitting outside my house. I'm not kidding. I love being in my car. My car feels like a cozy, like it just feels cozy and safe. Hi, Amber Light, the Amber Light. Amber in Petaluma, Amber? Are you Amber from Petaluma, Amber? Anywho. So I was talking to a friend of mine. First of all, happy full moon. I just realized it was the full moon. I mean, I knew it was the full moon, but I just realized it's the full moon. Okay, so here's what I want to share with you guys. I was going to do a short reel, but I've been loving going on live, so here we go. I was talking to a friend of mine on Voxer today, and then what we were speaking about was just continuing to be processed through my brain during my massage. So I want to share it with you because I think that so many of us are really starting to experience this right now, and it's allowing us to break free. So here it is. I don't know about you, but at least I've gone through life only accepting certain parts of my life, kind of trying to pretend perhaps, pretend that I'm fine when I'm really not, pretend that I'm happy when I'm really not, pretend that I'm in a relationship that's going well, even though it's really not, pretending that my partner and I are getting along great, even though deep down we're not. I'm not really happy. Pretending like I'm fine in my job when deep down I'm miserable, right? I mean, there's so many ways that we go about our life kind of pretending because we don't want to accept how life is actually showing up for us, right? Pretending like you're not in debt when you're actually in debt. So you're going out and spending all this money because you wish that you had the money, but you really don't. This isn't going to work anymore for us. So what's unraveling and what's happening to us as we go through these shifts is that pretending isn't working anymore. We're having to be brutally honest with how we're feeling. Finally being brutally honest with what is actually showing up in your life. That, wow, maybe, just maybe, you're not in a good relationship. Maybe, just maybe, you're in a sexless marriage, and it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to bring it up. It's okay to look at it. Maybe, just maybe, you're so miserable in your job. It's okay to bring it up. It's okay to talk about it to yourself, to somebody else. We have to stop pretending that life is a certain way. I had this really beautiful analogy, okay? Imagine that there's a picture on your wall, and the picture is actually of a forest, okay? It's a physical picture that's on your wall, and it's a forest. But you so badly want it to be an ocean, right? You so badly wish that the picture on your wall was an ocean. So you're denying and you're wishful thinking. It's like, I'm just going to wishful think. I'm going to cross my fingers. If I just pretend, if I just talk about things being okay, if I just like try to positive think my way through that picture and make it, I can turn it into an ocean. I can turn it into an ocean. Your higher self is saying to you, sweetheart, if you just surrender to the physical reality that's in front of you. Stop trying to be some sort of magician and change it. If you just admit to the framed forest in front of you, I'll take it down and I'll put up that ocean. But the ocean picture can't come up until you acknowledge what is actually on the wall. It can't. We have to acknowledge every tiny little piece of our life that we don't like, that we wish we weren't in, that we wish we didn't have to experience, that we've been doing so many things to try to ignore, or to close the door on, or to pretend, or to deny. I think this is one of the hardest parts of the human journey, is truly surrendering and talking about the actual brutal truth of what you're in. You don't have to make a decision. You don't have to change it. You don't have to figure out the ways around it. Your higher self, what I call the higher self, right? This aspect of you that's really starting to come online right now. It's guiding you, whether you understand that, whether you believe that, whether you feel it, whether you know what that means. There is an aspect of you that's starting to come online. And it's trying to guide you. But the only way the higher self can guide you is if you are brutally honest with everything you're in. This sucks. I hate this. I'm in a marriage that I don't want to be in, or I'm in a marriage that doesn't feel right any longer. I have friends that I don't really resonate with, but I'm keeping them because I'm trying to make it work, right? I'm trying to make these things work. I'm trying to make a square, a circle go into a square. It's like, stop efforting. Stop trying to squeeze a circle into a square. Stop trying to wishful think that painting on that wall is an ocean. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can wishful think. I can cross my fingers. I can pray. It's like, if you're not being so brutally honest that it almost burns your skin, that's how brutally honest you have to get. I'll tell you why we don't like doing this. Okay. The reason we don't like doing this is because there's this weird programming within this human experience that has convinced us that if we're actually brutally, painfully, rawfully, if that's even a word, honest with our experience, with all of it. Oh my God, look at this addiction I have. Look at my addiction. I have an addiction. Right? Oh my God, look at how I tear people down all the time. Like, the more we can be brutally honest, that's when things start to shift. But we're afraid. We're so deeply programmed that if we admit it, then somehow it becomes a reality. So if I pretend that the pink elephant isn't in the room, there's no pink elephant in the room. There is a pink elephant in the room, right? Like, and there's pink elephants all over our room right now in tiny little ways. And absolute massive miraculous shifts happen to you when you just say, what other pink elephants are in the room right now? What am I pretending? When someone asks me certain things, am I just saying, oh yeah, everything's great, I'm so happy. Oh yeah, my relationship is fabulous. I'm not saying that you have to tell people the brutal truth. You don't have to tell people the brutal truth. You have to tell yourself the brutal truth. That's all you have to do. You don't owe anyone anything. Thank you so much for the badges, you guys. I appreciate it. You don't have to diarrhea your mouth out about what your brutal, honest truth is. But you need to get brutally honest with yourself. That is a huge piece that we're going through right now. Huge piece. Because again, the moment that you can start to get comfortable with brutal honesty with yourself is the moment your higher self can say, bravo, bravo. Yes, that is what you're experiencing. Now what do you want? But if you're trying to like hopscotch your way around it, right? Positive think your way doing all these different kind of mantras to force that painting into an ocean when it's actually a freaking forest. You're denying the power of the physical reality. So everything is energetics, but if you try to pretend that you're some energetic magician and you're going to somehow manipulate the physical world before you actually admit to what your physical reality is, you will never be able to be the magical quantum magician. The magical quantum magician sees the actual physical reality that's in front of you. It has to. And then it starts to play. And then it starts to shift. It doesn't deny, it doesn't try to cross its fingers or pretend anything. It allows itself, this magical quantum magician that you are, allows yourself to feel so raw, so dirty, so thin, so nauseatingly vulnerable with yourself that you're not afraid of anything. We're breaking free. That's what's happening. So imagine as you're going about your day, every single thing that you try to ignore, every tiny little thing that you try to put the hatchet on. No, please God, no. I can't. I don't want to see this. I don't want to feel this. You don't have to keep the hatchet open all day long, right? But when that hatchet door opens and something pops out and says, hey, remember, you're miserable in your marriage. It's okay. You're miserable in your relationship. It's okay. You have no intimacy in your friendships and in your relationships and in your partnerships and in your whatever. It's okay. Hey, you lie to these people all the time about things. It's okay. Right? It's okay whatever you're in. It's okay. It's just the human experience. It's just the human experience. But this is how you break free. You stop denying. You stop pretending. You start getting so courageous and say, bring it on. Bring it on. What else do I want to show myself? Because if you remember that this is the magic, these are the gifts. The brutal truths are the gifts. The things you don't want to see are the gifts. The more you can see them, the more you're not afraid of life. The more you're not afraid of what you're in. The more you stop trying to change anything. And you allow this invisible energetic aspect of you called higher self to come in. And to say, I got you. And you're like, are you sure? And higher self is like, I got you. And you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have no idea what that means. And I don't know where you're taking me. And I don't know if I can trust you. I've just barely met you. You're not showing me anything in the physical world. How can I trust you? And that little internal voice says, just keep showing up. Just keep feeling. Just keep knowing that you're not this. You're moving through it. I've got your hand. I promise you I'm guiding you to something bigger than what you're in right now. But I can't do it alone. I need you. You being the ego, the personality, the programs, the trauma, right? You're not these things, okay? But this is how we have lived our lives for so long. And that's why we are breaking free. We're breaking free out of allowing the ego to control us, allowing the programming to control us, allowing the trauma to control us. The only way that we can do that we can truly break free, in my opinion, is that you're no longer afraid of what you're experiencing. You're no longer afraid of the triggers. You're no longer afraid of the pain. You're no longer afraid of the depressive states you get into. The other day, the last couple of days, I was in a little bit of an iffy state. I was so utterly exhausted. So utterly exhausted that I called it a burnout. But I know now that I'm out of it, at least I'm out of it right now, that it wasn't a burnout. It was more like I was electrocuted and I was fried. Okay. There was like, I could not function. I couldn't think. So when I woke up in the morning, I was like at 100% that battery. And then by 3 o'clock, my battery was literally at 5%. I couldn't do work stuff. I couldn't even look at a graphic that my web designer guy sent me, Luke, to even like discuss what I couldn't function. I was like, I don't even know how to tell you what I need on my website, right? I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. And I was like freaked out, in all honesty. I swear to God, I was freaked out. I hung up with Luke and I called my mom immediately. And I was like, Mom, I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep going. Like and this was Monday. I was like, I swear to God, Mom, I can't think. It's not even brain fog. It was like, I was like, there was that, like the electricity in my body zapped me. And I was like dead. And again, in my massage that I was trying to enjoy, I received this message that there's this energetic experience that a lot of us are having where there is so much light coming into the body, energy coming into the body right now, that it's almost overload, right? So we're used to being able to, I don't want to get too quantum here. I don't want to get too far out, but we've been able to kind of acclimate and the energies. We've been able to assimilate and acclimate the energies pretty well the last couple of years. But whatever's been going on the last couple of weeks, it's like the faucet of light has turned on, and the amount of light that we're taking in our bodies, if you're nothing, if you're experiencing a huge amount of light and your body is still holding a lot of density, which apparently my body must be, I don't know, it may feel like an electricity overload, like you're jolted. You got too much energy, right? And you're knocked out. You're exhausted. You can't make decisions. You cannot talk. You can't function. You don't know what to do. You're literally like, please God, help somebody. Please tell me this isn't going to last. I literally was like, I don't know. I almost canceled my trip. I was like, no, I'm not going to cancel my trip coming up. Like, I know that everything moves. I know that everything is in movement. It's energy. So I went to bed. Let's see. That was Monday. I think I went to bed around 5. Yesterday, I was in bed at 1, maybe earlier. Like in bed, like my pajamas are on and I'm literally laying in bed. And then I fell asleep and then I woke up and then I fell asleep. But here's what I don't do. What I don't do is I don't make it wrong. I may freak out and I may say, please God, what is going on? But I don't try to fix it. I don't try to fix it. I don't make anything wrong that I'm going through. It's freaky. I'll adjust. I'll figure out how I'm going to navigate. But I know that nothing's permanent. So if you know that nothing's permanent that you're experiencing right now, it can't be because it's energetic. It cannot be. Then there's going to be less resistance to what you're going through. It's okay to not understand it. It's okay to feel out of control. It's okay to let go. It's okay to just feel. It's truly okay to feel out of control. Because from that out of control state, you will find yourself in flow. The only way into flow is when you let go of control. And why is flow such a powerful state? The flow state. To me, the flow state is so powerful because you are not in resistance to life. You're not fighting against life. You're not trying to survive as if life is out to get you. You realize that life is here to serve you, and that you are like a musical tone in life. You're a part of life. You're a part of this. You're in it, moving through it. It's not out to get you. But we don't trust that. We don't trust that life isn't out to get me and that I may not have to be in survival mode. I may be able to let go of control a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more by truly allowing myself to experience what I'm in. Nothing's doing anything to you. Everything is designed to gift you with an opportunity to shift. Everything. That's what we're remembering here. Everything is a gift that is allowing you to see how you view yourself so that you can shift out of anything that has been enslaving you and creating this illusion that you're the physical reality out there. And the more brutally honest that you can get, you see, the power around brutal honesty is you're basically telling life to fuck off. In a sense. Fuck you. Excuse my language, but not. You can't control me. You know, I'm in an unhappy marriage. So what? I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend. Because if I pretend that if I pretend what I'm in, if I pretend that I'm not in what I'm in, then I am literally saying to the world, you have more power over me. You're more powerful than I am. Is the external world more powerful than you? If actually you're creating the external world? It's the biggest illusion, is that the external world is more powerful than you when you are actually creating your external reality. And so the moment you realize that the external reality isn't controlling you, that it doesn't have power over you, that it's simply showing you how you view yourself, the trauma you have inside, the limiting beliefs, the behaviors, whatever else, the programming that we're in, the idea that we are, I don't know, all kinds of programs. The moment we realize that that's truly what the external world is showing us, which we're creating unconsciously or consciously, then you won't be afraid of it. There's nothing to fight against. Think about how crazy this is. You're fighting against a physical reality that you are bringing to you in order to shift you. Nobody's creating your external world. No one. You're your own powerful, universal creator. You're either conscious of it or unconscious of it. So if you're fighting, it's literally like you're punching yourself in the face. If you're fighting against and trying to ignore what you're in, your higher self is like, babe, can you please see this? Just acknowledge it. This is the other thing about just being brutally honest with what you're experiencing. Brutal honesty, right? Again, the analogy I gave earlier that came in during my massage that I was trying to enjoy was, imagine there's a painting on the wall that's a forest. Your higher self is like, babe, I need you to see this forest. And you're like, fuck off. I don't want that to be a forest. I would really like it to be an ocean. Please, please, please let that be an ocean. Please, please, please let that be an ocean. And your higher self is like, I just need you to acknowledge that that's a forest, right? So whether it's a relationship or a friendship or a job or money or health or whatever it is, right? If you just acknowledge it, if you just see it, if you just feel it in all its brutal honesty, your higher self will say, thank you. Here you go. Here's what's next. You're free. See, we think that if we see it and we feel it, somehow we're going to have to make some horrible decision around it. What if you don't? What if the decision unravels naturally as you begin to be brutally honest with what's showing up? Right? So imagine the pink elephant in the room is like this energetic tornado that's moving around and moving around. You don't like it. I don't like the pink elephants that I see sometimes, right? I'd prefer to not see the pink elephants, right? Whether it's a friendship or a relationship or a job or money or something I'm resisting, something I don't want to do, whatever it is, right? Here comes this pink elephant that's this energetic tornado. And what we have been programmed to do is try to push it away, try to ignore it, try to positive think our way, try to mantra our way out of it, right? When truly, energetically, from an energetic standpoint, all you got to do is just say, what the freak is this? Wow. Okay, this is what I'm in. Got it. And when you start doing that, the tornado just starts to unravel, right? All of a sudden you start to hear the guidance inside, the internal compass that's like, okay, we need you to now do this. You need to now say this. Just simply feeling that energetic tornado unravels the tornado. But most of our lives, we have ignored the tornado. Tornado doesn't go anywhere. So we do all these things to try to get rid of the tornado. We have all these addictive behaviors to get rid of those tornadoes. This can be an internal tornado, right? Or an external tornado, meaning it could be a relationship, a friendship, a job, health issues, or it could be severe trauma. It can be massively powerful limiting beliefs. It can be behaviors, whatever it is, whatever that tornado is that needs to be seen and acknowledged and felt is the moment it breaks up, starts to dissolve. We think we have to have the solution. The other thing that came in is, if you think about this, like what's the worst case scenario that's going to happen if you look at this pink elephant, or if you're truly brutally honest with the relationships in your family, brutally honest with the relationships in your household, brutally honest, right? If you're brutally honest, what's the worst case scenario? And most likely, that worst case scenario is never going to happen. Never going to happen. Feel good's here. You know, I never look at the comments. Get Mr. Good. He just sang me a song on what's up?
What's up, girl?
I was just spitting some stuff to humanity.
I know humanity was saying you were on fire.
Well,
I
first
was
of all,
worried.
let's do that. Listen. Do you think you could share a little jingle? That little jingle.
You know how we do. You know how we do. You know how we do. Oh my God, we had such a blast.
For
Um,
like 30 seconds.
um so what is going on, lady?
That's how we have blasts. Literally, the fun in our day is sending each other slides on Instagram.
Sending each other slides.
Okay, so listen. I was in my massage, and literally the radio station was on I don't remember my massage. I just remember like all these messages, all this stuff coming in, and it was like about brutal honesty right now.
Oh my God, I got the same thing.
You did?
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, I got this really powerful message. I just did a reel about it. All of your freaking problems stem from you not accepting yourself.
Yes. One.
All of them. And I have to tell you something real quick. I was with friends a few days ago, and I and it was lovely. And I've noticed how palpable the dynamics of energy are now. And I asked my friends, I said, so are you guys just chilling today? Like, what do you guys? And they said, well, at some point we want to get a workout in. So then I said, well, what time so I can know if I should leave before traffic or after traffic? And they were playing it off like, no, we're just in the flow. We're just in the flow. But I could sense, you could cut it with a knife. You could sense that they weren't in the flow. You could sense they were pretending to be in the flow. I'm just being brutally honest right now because you talked about brutal honesty. And I could tell they were trying to play it off like they were in the flow. But there was like this energy in the room that was sticky. And it was like, yo, just tell me what time you want to go. That way I can decide when to leave.
Right.
Right? But my point is, a lot of people are pretending to be something they're not right now. I'd rather you tell me when you want to go. That way I can get clear than you pretend like you're in the flow.
Yep.
So I think a lot of people are having a really hard time accepting themselves right now. And it's like, yo, accept where you're at. You don't have to try to be something you're not, you know? And anyways, that's all I wanted to share is we are going to start to feel the very obvious energy mismatch when it's in the mix. That's all I wanted to say.
That's exactly what brutal honesty is. That's exactly what you just fine-tuned it. You
But I
literally
have to be honest, though. I didn't say anything. I just kept asking. But the thing is, I wasn't in a position to say something because there were kids around. But I've reached a point now where I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
I think when you're learning how to do this, when you're stepping into this, it's okay to not necessarily do it because it's almost like you're fragile yourself. So let's say you're starting to learn how to be brutally honest, completely truthful with yourself, right? And I'm literally in my car right now in front of my house, and my landlord just walked out. They're
Hi,
probably
landlord. Can we
like,
get a discount?
what are they doing? How about get my fridge in? Like, I haven't had my fridge in 6 weeks.
Mm.
Okay, but anyways, okay, if you're just starting to step into brutal honesty, truly accepting yourself for who you are, for all of what's coming up, there's going to be a fragility like, ooh, if I say something, what's the backlash? If there's not a firm empowered state within you, you may do more damage to yourself and to others, right? So it's sort of like, it's okay, I think, in the beginning to sort of keep it to yourself. But there will come a time where we won't be able to. And this is in anything, in friendships, in relationships. There's a ton of marriages right now. I've been feeling this so strongly. There are a ton of marriages that people are in that they're in a denial state, and it's not that they have to get out of the marriage, okay? It's just that marriages or relationships can't shift if you're denying the actual truth of what's in that marriage. You know what I mean? And that's what I guess with anything, friendship, yourself, all of it. If you're denying it, there is no way the highest aligned outcome is going to show up for you. No freaking way. None.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at how this is what I heard my higher self say to me yesterday. When you are in bondage with someone, there is something you can't see.
I love your truth bombs.
When you are in bondage with someone,
Oof,
then you have a blindfold on. There is something you can't see. It's only when you start to take a step back and you let that energy air out that things start to reveal themselves to you. And when things start to reveal themselves to you, you can sense energy everywhere you go. And you know what ended up happening the other day? I ended up leaving because it just felt sticky. It felt sticky. I was like, something about this doesn't feel right.
yeah,
It just felt like no one was getting on the same page.
right.
So it's amazing what's happening right now. And you're right when you say like it's okay, there's a fragility and it's okay not to say anything. I've learned that it's okay not to say something, because if you did say something, you would quickly see that that person would disappear.
Right. Or you're going to create more of a tornado than needs to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you just see what you see. And as long as you're honoring your truth. And the other key thing is like, if and I was telling my girlfriend this the other day, if you don't make it about the other person, so you're not, see, the thing that we do a lot as humans is we try to, so let's just say there's some weird energy going on, right? We want to blame the other person. We want to blame our partner. We want to blame our friend. We want to blame our wife or our husband. And then we want them to change, because if they change, then this weird energy that I'm feeling is going to change. And it's like, no, that's not what's being asked. What's being asked is to just acknowledge what is being experienced between the two of you. Simply acknowledging it, not trying to make it about somebody else creating it. That's not what this human experience is about. It's not about blaming, pointing fingers. The more you feel the energy, the less you're going to blame other people. You're going to acknowledge it. You're going to be like, oh, wow, look what they're doing. Oh my God, they're in denial. Oh my God, they're trying to like play in my world of being like, oh, I'm in a flow state. Like I know you're not in my world. You're not in a flow state. You've
You're
been watching
saying
my
you are, because
videos.
I'm feel good and I'm in my flow state, but I don't have a problem with you having a structure. Just say that you have a structure.
Right.
You
Just
feel
be
me?
you. Be like, dude, I don't know what flow state is, but like I want to go to the gym and this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And like, hallelujah. Thank you, God.
Thank you. 'Cause
Yes.
now we can enjoy the moment and I can know when to leave. But if you pretend like you're in a flow state, I'm going to feel that mismatch. Because when you're in a flow state, there's no energy in the air.
No.
You're just in the flow state. But you know what else I've been noticing about people? This is so important. I've been noticing how people are desperately holding on to everything they want to be. For others, for their kids, they think they can fit it all in. And it's like, sweetheart, reality check. You're going to have to decide to either be a mom right now or to be a friend. But don't pretend you can handle all of it, because that's only going to contaminate the space. I've been noticing that with a lot of people lately. It's like they're trying to hold on to all these identities to try to appease everyone, but they're actually doing everyone a disservice.
Dude,
They're doing everyone. It's like, yo, get real about your fucking life. Get real about your life, because everyone, you're actually watering everyone down right now. You can't be the mom and be present for your friends. You got to choose one right now.
that's huge. That's
It's
huge. I mean,
the way
I
I've
was
been
feeling that.
noticing it everywhere, Lori.
Yeah. I felt that in my own being the last couple of days of like, how do I, show up as the teacher? How do I juggle going through my own transformation right now and my own whatever I'm going through and still show? I can't do all of it. I can't do it. I can't hold all of it anymore. I can't juggle all of it. I have to let go. I have to freaking let go. um and there's a fear around that. Like, if you're not the perfect mom, if you're not the perfect husband, if you're not the perfect friend, if you're not showing up for all these people, if you're not taking these people out to lunch, having these I don't know, whatever the heck you do, if you don't show up in the way that you have been programmed and convinced yourself to show up all the time, then who are you? What if you let it all go? You know what I mean? Like, what if you just stop playing the game, stop putting on the pretty dresses and all? I mean, nothing wrong with pretty
Like,
dresses, but
stop holding on to your college self and your mom's,
yeah.
all of it. Like, honestly, it's distorting the space. It's amazing to me how people try so hard to hold it all up.
Yes.
And they think they can get away with it. But the thing is, when you're dealing with people like me and Lori and a lot of you in the room, we go for quality, not for quantity. So if you're not able to be present for this, we're probably not going to gel with you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm all
Yeah.
about presence right now. And if you're all scattered, I can't even stand being in that space.
Yeah.
Because I'm about quality, not quantity.
It's dizzying almost. It's like,
It is dizzying. It's like,
yeah.
yo, get real about your situation. Like,
Yeah.
make a plan with me alone if you can be alone with me. And if you can't, just say that.
Yeah. It's very hard for me now to be in any bullshit, any misaligned energy. I don't care who you are. Just give me you. I don't care who you are. I don't care about your trauma. I don't care about your triggers. I don't care about your bullshit. I don't care about your messiness. I don't care about your emotional states. Just give me you. Meaning just give me the most authentic version of you. That's all I want. That's the easiest place to be with anyone, is the authentic version, no matter how messy it is. That's the thing about energy. That's what we're learning right now, is that all this whole illusion of putting ourselves together and making ourselves look all put together and all this and all, it's all bullshit. Like, it, because you can energetically feel the messiness of that. It's so
And
dirty.
it's on, to be honest with you, to me, it's exhausting to watch.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted for people who do that. Because I'm like, yo, they live like that 24/7. I'm
I
only
know.
here for a quick visit. But they live like that under this guise of like, oh, but I can do it all. And honestly, you can't do it all. Because the true state of being wouldn't try to do it all. The true state of being would be present with one thing at a time. Honestly, it would be.
Right. Well,
You know?
that is the state of being that we're all kind of moving towards eventually, is um you're truly just, you're just focused on what you're experiencing right now. You're not trying to grab or juggle all of the ideas or the labels that you think about this for a second. Think of all the different labels that you have. Okay, I'm the mom, I'm the wife, I'm the friend, I'm the teacher, I'm the whatever person, right? And if you're trying to juggle all of those in every now moment, you're actually not present with the now moment.
Well,
You're
you're
not.
also dragging people into your confused space.
Right.
Think about how selfish that is. This is real talk right now. Think about how selfish it is to drag people into your scatteredness.
Right.
Like, nobody wants to be around that, boo.
Yeah. No. And most people are unconscious to it. It's like it takes, I mean, again, it goes back to what you said in the very beginning, which is being like, fully accepting yourself. I think that's what you said, fully accepting
Yeah,
yourself.
I said all of your problems stem from you not accepting yourself
Yeah.
and
And
where
it's
you're
so
at and where.
true. We're so afraid. We're so afraid to be all, we're so afraid to just be what is. We're so afraid of that. It's like, that's what breaking free is all about, in my opinion, which I think is really what so many of us are going through right now, is literally breaking free of trying to pretend anything other than what just is right now. What's the problem with what just is right here, right now? What I'm experiencing, an argument, something with my children, stress, whatever it is. That's what people forget. They can't remember this, is that if you just are in what you're in, it goes away. It,
But
it
I think you know what it is? It would require people to sacrifice old versions of who they are. And most people don't want to do that. That energy you feel in the room, that elephant in the room, that crazy energy, is them holding on to a version of themselves that isn't working anymore.
oof. Oh, that's a powerful one. Yeah. Say that again.
People are trying to hold on to old versions of themselves, and now it's piling on and piling on and piling on. Now they're trying to manage their present version, their old version. They're trying to fit it all in, and it's like, sweetheart, that time has expired. You need
Yeah,
to let that go.
damn, the pink elephant in the room is an old version of you that you're still trying to hold on to, dude.
A
That's
100%. You're holding on to an old version of who you are, and it's not working anymore. And you're not honoring your higher self, and people can feel it, right?
yeah.
Think about like, oh my God, I can go on and on about this, but we have to let go of old versions that aren't working anymore. If you're doing what you were doing 10 years ago, you are not evolving. Period.
And what are we afraid of? Why are think about this. We're literally running from an old version of us that we're actually still playing in. That's the fucked up weird thing. So there's a pink elephant in the room that we don't want to talk about, that we don't want to look at, whether it's our own stuff or what you're experiencing out there. It's an old version of you that's just saying, hey, can you please freaking look at me? And we're running from the old version by continuing to be the old version. It's like the most messed up mind fuck.
You know what it is? We're trying to keep an old version of us alive that's already dead.
Yes.
We're trying to keep something alive, and it's like, yo, can you just fucking pull the plug already? Let me die.
Right.
Like, I'm on my deathbed, and you've been keeping me alive for like 5 years.
Yes. Let it die. And the way you let it die is you fucking be honest about it. You just brutally say, wow, look at this part of me. Look at how I used to be, that I am not anymore, but still wants to show up. Can I vulnerably, authentically, rawly accept that version of me that I used to be, that I don't need to be anymore, and stop running from it? Like, it's an old version. That's why
You're running from something that isn't even chasing you.
right.
You're running from something that's on its deathbed, that's begging you to pull the plug.
Yes. This is really big. People get this. Truly, it takes courage. Why are we so afraid? I don't know. I'm not afraid of much in my life. I swear to God, I don't know what I'm afraid of. Maybe I'm afraid of, like, I don't know. I don't have a lot of fear in my life, so nothing scares me. I'm not
You know what it
afraid.
is? It's all people know, and they don't want to discover something new. That's what it is. It's been working for them, and no one's been saying anything to them. So
No, because it's working for the other persons as well.
they've been getting away with it, right?
Right.
I don't think it's working for the other people. I think a lot of people are scared to say something.
No, you may be right.
So it's been working for them for a while. So why fix it if it ain't broke? But the thing is so broke. It is so broke that you do need to fix it. The illusion is that it's not broken, but the true energetic reality of that is that it is broken.
Right.
Because everyone in the room can feel it.
Yeah. Dude, we are blocking ourselves from a life of such freedom. It's crazy to me. It's truly, see, here's the thing. I don't know how you experience life right now, but life to me is not like this necessarily this blissful state.
No.
Okay. Life to me is, it's almost like it's like a like even keeled, right? Just sort of like, I'm not necessarily having these super high highs. I'm not necessarily having these super low lows. I'm just sort of like, anything I experience now, I'm not attaching to it or labeling it. So there isn't like a super high expression of it. Does that make sense? So like, if I find myself in more of a blissful state, it still just is like, oh, look at what I'm experiencing. Do you know what I mean? It's
I feel
not, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm in this blissful state. It's just a very interesting experience that I'm noticing. But there's freedom, right? There's freedom.
Yeah, because you're not trying to cage the bliss.
Right.
You're not trying to lock it in the wine cellar.
Yes.
Right? And all those people who are spiritual, like, hi, how are you? It's like, bitch, you got a lot of motherfucking hostages in your basement. I see them.
What's this?
The people in the white gowns who are like, hi, how are you? Do you want a hug for 10 minutes?
No.
Bitch, you got a lot of motherfucking hostages in your basement. I could see them because you are not, you're something else right now.
Do you want a hug for, dude? Those are quite obvious. Like, that's the I dated a guy once a long time ago, and when I first met him, there was a specific way. Don't ask. I dated him because he was super hot. Don't fault me for that. But he wanted to hug. There's a certain way you hug people. apparently, and it's like it has to be like heart to heart, or like I don't know, I can't remember that you have to hug a certain way where both hearts are touching or something. I don't know. But I was like, oh wow, he is really trying hard to be spiritual. You know, like there's something about the efforting of even trying to hug a correct way that is asinine to me. Like energy is beyond the physical body, buddy. Like
For
heart
real.
connection is already happening fucking 8 miles away. 100,000 miles away, my heart's connecting to you. I don't need to physically be in a specific position to make sure the hearts connect. But God
I
bless.
I
Still
know.
dated him for a couple months, but he was so hot. Damn it. But yeah, it's interesting. You can feel the inauthenticity in people. You can feel it. You can
More
feel
than
those
ever,
things.
you can feel people's denial. You can feel their denial.
And honestly, I believe the denial is looking at the dark. The denial is admitting the shadow. The denial is looking at the shitty ways that you see yourself, the behaviors that you don't want to talk about. That's the denial, in my opinion, of like how dark can you get? How deep does your shadow go? Like how gritty can you get? And if you can admit that within yourself, you're sure as shit not going to show up in this extroverted, like super like there's an even keel that starts to happen as opposed to this higher than
Exalted. It's
thou.
exalted.
Yeah,
It's an exalted attitude, holier than
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think, people have been looking to the stars, but it's like the magic is on your feet. Like it's about being here now. Boom, I'm grounded. I'm here, right? And if you think about it, everyone who has scattered energy, they got swept up in identities. They got swept up in their mind, like they thought they could do everything at the same time. That's getting swept up. You've lost your foothold to this reality.
Hey,
Like,
somebody just commented and I want to bring it up.
okay,
They
please.
said, don't we see others the way that we see ourselves?
Well, I don't necessarily think that that's true. No, I think when you are able to when you can look at a pair of shoes, you could tell if it's blue or green, right? So my thing is when you are no longer judging people, but you become a reader of energy, you can accurately describe what's going on because you've probably been there. But
Bingo.
but you made it to the other side. If someone has an eating disorder or an addiction to anything, and they went through that darkness and they made it to the other side, you don't think they can notice when someone else has an eating disorder that they're refusing to heal? Of course they can. That doesn't mean it's a reflection of them. It means they healed. They went through that dark tunnel. They plopped out on the other side, and now they're able to tell who's struggling with whatever, right? If you've been in a narcissistic relationship and you went through it and you went through a lot of pain and you come out on the other side, you can notice who's in a narcissistic relationship refusing to look at the truth.
Yeah, it's like this. This is another deep program. So imagine that you have a lot of trauma in your body, okay? And so when you are trying to detect energy, it's very muddy. It's muddied by your own trauma. It's muddied by your own insecurities, doubts. It's muddied by your past experiences. So it's really hard to read the energy. So of course you're going to tell people what you think they are, which is basically a reflection of you if you have a huge shit ton of trauma. As you start clearing out the trauma, as you start surrendering to yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself, doing all the internal work, you get clearer and clearer. You start to be able, the fogginess goes away, so you're able to read energy more clearly. And so that's where the non-judgment comes from, right? There's a discernment of like, oh, that's actually a color purple, right? It's not pink. It's that energetic experience is actually dissected as purple, and that's simply what it is. But it requires a huge amount of internal work to clear out your station to be able to read energy like that. um
Yeah, I mean, like I can give you a very simple example. Let's say that you've been a people pleaser your whole life. right? You always placated and you always appeased others. You had to go through that to eventually like realize you got vacuumed into your artificial self, into your false self. When you come out of that and you no longer people please, you can meet a complete stranger and you can read the entire thing that will play out if you go against your truth. You can see all the algorithms. If you've healed, if you're a recovered people pleaser and you're no longer people pleasing, if you, or let's say like you didn't have boundaries and you finally learned from that, once you have boundaries, you're going to be able to detect anyone who would violate your boundaries, so you won't open that anymore because you've become psychic. What do you think a psychic is? What do you think a mystic is? It's someone who goes into the darkness, experiences darkness, comes out of the darkness, and then can detect darkness.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes. Yes. That's why being so authentic and vulnerable and real with what's showing up is the greatest gift, because it's giving you this clarity. It's giving you this ability. It's giving you freedom. So you can walk into a situation, you can read it quite clearly, and then you can make a decision on whether you want to participate or not. Then you're not a victim anymore. You're empowered. The world isn't out to get you. You don't have to protect yourself from anything, right? It's all interconnected. All of
It's
this
all
is
interconnected.
interconnected.
And again, like I think that person's perspective that shared that is valid, but it also depends on your intention when you talk about things. Is your intention, are you mad? Then yeah, then you're being reactive. Or are you using a situation to teach? Then perfect, right? But I think only we can know when we're triggered,
Yeah.
right? Like we know when we feel negative. I don't feel negative towards those people. I was just objectively talking about the energy in the room.
You know, one of the ways that I've always known that somebody's being triggered by me,
Hmm.
right? Or I'm triggering someone, is I will feel like I'm in like the Twilight Zone. It's like, or I'm on candid camera. It's like, wait a second, what the freak is going on here? Like, it doesn't compute. Like what this person is saying to me, or how they're reacting, or how they're responding. I'm like a lot of like, there'll be people online that will talk dirt bad about me or whatever, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, I am so confused. Like, am I like what it, that's when you know that somebody is actually triggered by you, because you're literally like in a completely you're like in a different reality, right? It's like it doesn't, they're the, because if they were, if if they were on the same frequency, on the same page, on the same wavelength, then there would be, you wouldn't feel like you're in some Twilight Zone thing. It's like, and they wouldn't even be talking about you, or you wouldn't even be triggering them. It's just it's fascinating to start paying attention to that also, of like, what the fuck, I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone. Like, what is
Yeah.
this?
That's why I tell people don't respond to negative comments, because if you receive a negative comment, you already did your job.
Right.
You already did your job. Now let that person sit with their trigger. But
Exactly.
but if you engage, if you jump into that boxing match, then you're gonna lose because you took the bait.
Somebody said, can you repeat what a mystic is? Did you say what a mystic is?
Yeah, I just said like whether you're psychic or a mystic, what it means,
Oh,
you go, you're not afraid to suffer. You're not afraid to go to deal with the pain when it happens. You go through the darkness, and when you come out of the darkness, then you're able to read every pattern that's stuck in darkness.
yeah. That's why it's so powerful to go in. That's why it's
You
so
have to go.
powerful.
It's the only, it has to be experiential. It
Yeah.
cannot be a conceptual idea. It has to be experienced. It has to be felt in your body. You have to literally suffer. And when you come out of your suffering, then you can see the suffering that other people are caught in.
I think that's what's so beautiful about you and I, in my opinion, especially as like spiritual teachers, is that we go into the dark, we
Yeah.
sit with the shit, we dive deep. We don't try to bypass, we don't try to pretend, we don't try to like positive think our way through any of it. We're like, I want to be human. I want to be in, I want to be in all of it. I don't want to bypass out of it. And that's where heaven resides. That's
Yeah.
in my opinion, heaven resides in all of it. Um, heaven is not trying to escape out of any of it. It's standing in it all, going through it, and stepping out. And stepping out truly is still stepping. It's still in all of it. Like we we're not going to escape this evil and darkness. It's just here. So it's learning how to, the mystic and the psychic don't try to ignore the dark. They
You
don't
just,
try to
just get,
escape it.
you just get to a place where you're not engaged with any of it because,
Exactly.
but if it happens, it happens and you deal with it. But it's like anything, right? Going back to boundaries, if you've learned boundaries and you meet a total stranger and right away you can tell that person might violate your boundaries, you can know psychically that person is going to violate my boundaries. You're not going to engage with that part of them, right? Because you're not going to jump into their world. So essentially, that's what's going to start to happen to a lot of us. We're going to be living in our own universe, in our own universe. This is your universe. And if something tries to engage with you from the dark world, you won't engage with it because you're going to be able to see it. And guess what? When you see it, that darkness isn't going to try you because it feels seen by you. It feels exposed by you. It doesn't want to be around you. It wants to be around people it can control. It
Exactly.
wants to be around people it can tinker with. So when you see the darkness, right? Most people, they feel exposed. That's why they flee.
What do you mean they feel exposed?
When you have boundaries and someone else doesn't,
Yeah.
right? And they keep trying to like violate, like no, they would violate you if you let them in.
Yes.
They're not going to try to get in because on a subconscious level, they want to be with people they can control.
Right.
They want to be with people they can violate. So if you hold an energy that there's no way anyone's going to violate me anymore, that reality won't be interested in engaging with you.
Right.
It's going to it's going to go prey on other people.
God damn, that's so true.
It's going to go prey on other people.
It's true. It's true. And that requires you to trust. For my experience, it requires me to trust my own beingness over that powerful dark, over that, it's not dark, okay, but that manipulation, or that trying to push the boundaries, trying to control, trying to take over, that takeover energy. It's like a takeover energy to me. If you can trust that you're feeling a takeover energy, not denying there's a takeover energy, or whatever you want to say about boundaries, people, somebody's trying to, you have to be able to read that energy and trust that energy. Not think to yourself, oh, there's something, I'm thinking badly about somebody, or, oh, I need to trust this person, or, oh, I should give them the benefit of the doubt. It's like, no, you're fucking reading energy. If you don't trust what you're feeling, you're going to be run over, taken advantage of. The next thing you know, whatever's going to happen, right? And that's why we always play this victim role. Like, oh my God, they did this to me. It's like, no, you didn't trust.
You didn't, yeah, you had some sort of a belief that you had to revisit that lesson.
Yeah.
Like, why did you want to revisit that lesson? You know? So you're going to have to revisit it until you really fortify yourself.
Yeah. And trust.
Until you realize you can't, I always say you cannot be exceptional if you keep making exceptions.
When people can feel your fire, your light, and they realize they can't do fuckery with you, they will disappear.
They will. And it's like, and you're holding them in love. In a way, you're saying, I love you and I'm not available for this. So I can't open the door to this.
Yeah.
You don't even need to verbalize it because your energy speaks loudly. So if your energy holds firm boundaries, then you're never going to open the door. They're going to feel that and they're like, yo, there's no food here. I'm getting hungry. Let me go prey on someone who's going to give me that food.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so true.
And those people usually have 10 people lined up to get food from.
Yeah.
But they always want more because they're takers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating how real this is, how true this is. And how it again, it comes back to being able to read energy and being able to trust what you're feeling on an energetic level. And it's not about judging the other person. There's a difference between judgment and discernment. There really is. Yes, we live in a judgmental world where you know, black or white and things like that. But there's a difference between the judgment of somebody, which comes from a triggered trauma state, and discernment, which comes from reading energy. That's all. Just that's, in my opinion, that is what we're doing. We are learning how to discern an energy in the energetic world. What feels right to me. Discernment is where you're not blaming another person, right? So you're feeling like somebody's coming in and taking over. If you simply just feel that energy and honor that energy as an energetic exchange, then you're just like, I'm not here for this. Thank you. Namaste. Love and
Yeah.
light. I'm out. Peace. You know? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to judge them. Oh my God, they are this. They are that. Um, you're just
But if you think
discerning.
about it, judgment is the journey to discernment,
Yeah.
right? We judge people because we allow them to steamroll us. And it's because we're not accepting ourselves. The second you accept yourself is the second you stop judging people.
Mm-hmm.
Truly. When you fully accept, you only judge your mom, you only judge your brother, you only judge your sister because you're not accepting who you are.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you judge people. So
Yeah.
when you accept yourself, then discernment is automatic. It's automatic because you're not playing in anything that isn't you.
Yeah.
You're not playing in anything that isn't you.
And you're not afraid of your own shadow. You're not afraid of your own, you're not afraid of you. You're not afraid of what comes up with you. You're not trying to pretend. That's the thing that people don't get. It's like the more you stay in that in the old versions of you, the more you pretend to be something, right? The more you are going to continue to judge all these people because you're simply judging yourself because you can't just accept. You
Yeah.
can't just accept. Maybe you're a shitty person. Maybe, and you're not a shitty person, but like maybe you got whatever's going on with you. Who cares? Like we all got darkness. We all got shadow. We all got trauma. We all have a closet in there that we're like, oh my God, if you saw what was in that thing, you would, you know, like we all have that. So what? The acceptance of that it is where we break free and we stop judging.
And why do you think we judge? Because I already have a great definition. Should I just come out and say it?
Yeah, just say it.
We judge because we judge ourselves and we judge others because we think there's something wrong with accepting ourselves.
Say it again.
We judge others and we judge ourselves because we think there's something inherently wrong with accepting
Mm,
ourselves.
yeah.
Think about that. You judge yourself and you judge your mom and your brother and your sister and your cousins because you think there's something wrong with actually accepting yourself.
Right. And I
It's crazy. Like
yeah, it's
you
crazy.
think, like, who's telling you that there's something wrong with your preferences? Who's telling you that there's something wrong with you having your likes versus your dislikes? No, that's a very honest question. Who? Who in the universe is telling you that there's something wrong with having your own preferences? Because if it's not your own preferences, guess what? It's someone else's preferences.
Right.
If it's not your preferences, your likes, your dislikes, it's someone else's likes and dislikes.
Right.
So who's telling you there's something wrong with your preferences?
It's a good question. It's a real good question to ask ourselves. Truly. Wow. Welcome full moon energy. What the fucking fuck, dude?
Thank
Damn.
you, Jan. I feel like we just dropped the mic and this is where I exit.
I think we did too. I think we did one of our Lori Phil shows.
Yo, this was like the amount of gems in this. Like, I don't know if you're going to post this, but this is golden right here.
I'm gonna post it for shinizness. I'm posting this.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah. I
Hell yeah.
posted. I posted.
You ever see
Look
that
at
clip where they're like, you mad? Oh, no, no. How does it go? I can't argue with you. Did you ever see that clip?
no, for what?
Look at you. You mad. Look at you. You never saw that clip?
Wait, from what? Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
No, it's a song. By the way, that's on tonight.
Oh, God, I love Erica. What song?
Um, I forgot how it goes, but I'll have to send it to you. I'll have to send it. It's really funny, actually.
Dude, I watched Titanic last night.
Aw.
That that movie is so good.
It's good,
I
huh?
mean, Rose and what's his name? Jack? Wait, what's the dude's name? Freaking
Oh, I
A.
don't know.
Dude, if you could sing that song.
I would definitely be Celine Dion, that's for sure.
Anywho,
I love
well,
you.
I
Amazing
love you. Thanks.
conversation. Amazing conversation as always.
Amazing. I love you to the moon and back, even though we never went to the moon. And thanks for jumping on.
Thank you for having me, Lori.
You're the greatest.
You're the
Greatest
great.
gift. Oh, Jack. It was Jack.
You're
Rose
num-
and
oh,
Jack.
good. Yeah, you're number one in my eyes,
You're
Lori.
number one.
Yay!
I loved our slides today.
Ditto.
Okay,
All
bye, you
right.
guys. Love you.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye, Lori.
Bye.